Yo, it's your boy Uncle Cooley. Welcome back to the Toast Up Podcast, man. If you don't know what that means to open a sincere transformation upon people. This is episode 30. I have another special guest, man. His name is Sterling. Sterling, please introduce yourself, my king.
What's going on, everybody? Like my man's Cooley said, my name is Sterling, and I'm an independent artist for real. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, to give you a background, we met in the gym at the Edge.
Yeah.
You basically gave me some advice on how to do some unique pull-ups.
Yes, sir.
That was the first thing, and then we
Nah,
started
for sure.
chatting. Yeah, we started chatting. We started talking about bench press, squats, and then after that, we started having the conversation about life. So to give you guys an overview, that's how we met, and ever since then, we've just been keeping in touch and having conversations on an intellectual level. So I want you to explain like who you are, like what are some of the things that you're passionate about, just so you can give the viewers some insight about you.
All right. So honestly, wow. When I really think about it, who I am as a person is more of a, like I said before, like I'm introverted, to be completely honest. I'm pretty laid back. I have a very like collective type of like calm nature. But outside of that, like things that I'm really passionate about would be, I don't know, man, like besides music, dance, wow. I was gym, definitely taking care of my body. That's definitely like a passion of mine as well. Outside of that though, man, nah, not much.
Okay. So basically what I'm hearing is long story short, you try to maintain yourself and try to elevate yourself
No, for sure,
to a higher consciousness.
for sure.
Now what are some of the things that the gym provided for you to be a better person, because I know you're big on patience and I want you to try to elaborate on that.
Primarily, it helped me with like consistency, holding myself accountable to be able to show up, regardless of whatever the result may be. And and being patient, not, with myself, with learning new techniques and like, learning new ways of training and different ways altogether. Like I would definitely say the biggest thing I learned from the gym, is definitely going to be consistency and patience.
Okay. Now, how did that translate to your everyday life? Like with the patience, like do you find yourself more patient when it comes to communicating with your loved ones or coworkers at the job? Like how has patience really impacted you in a positive way?
To be completely honest, it makes me not be too quick to judge. Like,
That's a big
oh
one.
yeah, like and just it actually helped with my listening skills too. Because before, like with the lack of patience, I would like hear something and it would immediately like trigger me sometimes, and I would like want to just answer right away. But like now, I'm able to really listen to everything that someone has to say before I actually respond to them.
Okay. And that's good because I remember I asked one of my close friends that do you think you can be a selfish listener?
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I think that sometimes being too patient could be a hindrance.
Yeah.
Because, well, I don't know exactly, to be honest. Like it can, but at the same, it's just like when you're patient, I feel as though sometimes people take it for granted.
No, for
I
sure.
think the external environment determines how a lot of people can react to certain situations. Because when you're too patient, I just think that a lot of people will try to run all over you.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? And try to take your kindness, because you tend to structure certain things in a way whereas both parties can be understood or in both parties can be heard. But when you say certain things in the sense of like it exercises impatience, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It could come across like, damn, it can be a lot and overwhelming for some people. So that's why I always say like having patience is definitely a key, especially when you're trying to unlock ultimate goals and trying to basically have a lot more self-control. But do you think sometimes it can be a negative thing to be too patient
So
from your perspective? Yeah.
I think it's going to depend on the person. To be completely honest with you, for me, maybe there might be a thing is like too patient. At some point you gotta show up and you gotta do something. So, but I think overall though, patience in itself, when I'm really thinking about it, patience in itself is actually nothing like wrong with it. I think allowing people to walk over you would be more of an issue. So, like if you allow someone, you give them the respect and like, let's just use the word patience. If you like are patient enough to let them get out whatever the situation may be, then you should be allowed to turn as well, and your turn shouldn't be interrupted, So I would think outside of that, I mean, there's really nothing wrong with patience.
Okay, so more so the act and the concept of patience
For sure.
is not anything negative,
Yes.
but how sometimes the external environment can actually act towards it can be sometimes a red flag. Do you think in the communication when you're trying to articulate yourself to a loved one or to anybody that you have to work with, do you think sometimes that can be a red flag?
I'm sorry, run that by me again.
So when you're patient, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes like it comes in the sense of sometimes you have to allow someone to talk more than they should.
Okay.
So sometimes I know from my experiences, sometimes me being the, exercising patience, sometimes I can allow somebody to talk gibberish, something that I may not agree with, just so I can exercise a lot more self-control. Do you think sometimes that can be a red flag on the person that's trying to hear themselves?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, if they got something they want to talk about, you let them talk about it. I mean, I don't see how that would be like a red flag at all. And I mean, honestly, to me, it kind of sounds like you're practicing something yourself. So like whatever they're talking about, even, you're being respectful for one, and even if you don't really care about it, you're still being, patient enough to like hear them out, even like for whatever they may be talking about before you even speak. So, I mean, if they got something they want to talk about, even if it doesn't pertain to the particular topic at hand, if they go off a topic, that's really on them. I wouldn't say it's really a red flag. They just maybe whatever the situation may be, they weren't paying attention entirely. So
what's crazy to me? I think I probably I'm not sure if I totally disagree because I feel as though like when you're patient with other people, but you have to allow yourself to not hear too many opinions that you don't agree with. In the sense of like, if you're in a conversation with your partner, or when you're in a conversation with a friend and you guys are talking, and he's saying completely red flags, but you just want to hear him out or hear her out because you want to, be open-minded when it comes to their perspective. I feel as though, should you allow them to finish all the way without cutting them off? If you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But why though? Like why do you feel as though like if somebody's not speaking, if somebody quote unquote is speaking bullshit, let's just say that if they consistently talk bullshit throughout the entire conversation, they're denying certain things, they're not taking accountability, they're not actually trying to be open-minded when it comes to your perspective, but you're patient enough to allow them to continue to talk what they're saying, do you think that can be a red flag when it comes to you or them?
I mean, nah, because your growth is yours and, their growth is theirs. Ultimately, everyone has an opinion. Because if me and you had the same exact opinions, the podcast wouldn't be that spicy. You know what I'm saying? So for me, everyone's entitled to whatever they believe in. You know what I'm saying? If you think it's BS, it may not be BS to them. Now, as far as accountability goes, that also has nothing to do with your character. If they if they're unable to take accountability for their actions, I mean, you can address that for sure after they get everything they got to say out. Of course, you can, speak on your behalf, of course, as you should. But ultimately, if they're unable to face anything, that's really on them. I don't think, me personally, I don't think that has anything to do with your character. I mean, especially if you're still elevating. I mean, if you continue to hang with this person, then maybe. But outside of that, if it's just like casual talk here and there, and you realize they're not on your level, then I don't see why that would affect you.
I feel like, in my opinion, like when you operate at a higher frequency, and you are who you hang around with for the most part.
Okay.
And when I'm in a conversation with somebody that I may have disagreements with in a certain scenario, I like I said, like I'm always open minded and I want to hear their perspective. But I feel as though sometimes it can be a monologue sometimes. And I feel as though it's not more so like a dialogue. It's not more so like a healthy conversation.
Okay.
Because when you can be too patient in the sense of like they keep going and going and going and going, and they use the terms you, and you did this and you did that, but you're patient enough to hear them out. You're patient enough to like, I want to see this person perspective because maybe they're saying things that I may not have seen when it came to me. However, I'm just going to allow this person to continue to finish, but when they're finished, then I'll talk. But then as soon as you start talking, they cut you off.
But like I
But
said,
you have to be like, I'm just saying, because like now you got to be patient enough to allow them to not hear your opinion, your perspective. That's why I said, like, do you think?
well, that's different now. Now, if you was patient enough to let them get their, like whatever they had to say out, then you should be allowed the same type of patience or respect or whatever you want to call it. Now, for me personally, if I didn't interrupt you this entire time, when it's my go, give me that same thing. Let me get the spotlight and say what I got to get off my chest as well. Otherwise, we really won't be able to like fix or handle anything or whatever the situation may be, in my opinion anyway. So, but yeah, no, like if you honestly sat there and listened to them talk about whatever their issue was with you or, taking like the lack of accountability or whatever the case may be. And then, after they get everything out, they don't allow you to speak. That's different. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to get the same spotlight they got. And if not, then it's kind of like, then I feel like you're putting yourself on the back burner. We not doing that. Nah.
So what are some like instances besides the gym that you try to exercise patience at a high level? Like, when it comes to yourself, like when it comes to loved ones, relationships, ultimate goals, like please give us an experience because I want you to paint a picture for the viewers if you can, or just being patient on what some of the goals that you have that you plan on achieving.
I'll talk about like two different things that actually come to mind. The first one being my job. I know that I practice patience a lot there, and it takes a lot for me too because of just the amount of like disrespect that goes on within that company. And I don't allow them to disrespect me, but I find things very unfair, and I catch myself getting angry. But you shouldn't act out of anger. So just when I typically face things that I dislike or that really start to like piss me off, I kind of got to take a step back. I'm like, all right, why am I mad? You know what I'm saying? Is there a better way to handle this? Should I just walk away? Should I address it? So I caught myself being more mindful of that because I can be a firecracker and just snap like immediately. So I think patience with myself as well as other people like works really well there, but more so with my music because not everyone knows me. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, indie artists, it's nothing that sucks more for me than feeling like I deserve something, but no one else knows that I deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Like I put in a lot of work, but no one knows that, and I'm trying to be patient with like, just like the whole concept of putting music together and making content and all of that. And just trying not to tear myself down and be like, there will be a time when people will notice me, but wanting to be like noticed right now because of all the effort that I'm doing right now. I think that itself takes a lot of patience. So yeah, I would say my biggest teacher right now would actually be my music when I think about it. Just like not getting any recognition, like, right. Well, I'm not saying I'm not getting any, but not the kind of recognition you want, but being patient and being consistent in order to achieve said goal that you want.
Basically exercising delayed gratification.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, do you ever feel like giving up? Like when you don't,
All the time, man.
like when you don't get the acknowledgement and when you don't get the recognition or quote unquote acceptance that you feel as though that you deserve. Like, okay, why do you feel like you deserve it first and foremost? Like,
I put in a lot of work for it. Like, I'm not really asking anything of anybody either. My own money, my own time. You know what I'm saying? I'm creating my own content. I'm not, like I'm putting a lot into it. So, I don't know. A reward would be pretty cool. I mean, like me personally, like, again, You know, I'm sure there's people that put in even more time or whatever the case may be. But for me, since I do every single thing myself without a team, it's kind of like, nobody sees me yet. Noted. I'm going to keep going though.
You know what's crazy? I feel like when you line up 100 people, 85 people are going to say they work hard. 85 people are going to say they deserve it.
Okay.
A lot of people have spectrums of what working hard is.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to notice that it's not always about working hard. It's about working smart.
Okay.
And I said that to say this. It's like a lot of people feel like they deserve it in life. But I try to always come back to the impact that I'm making. Because I'm not getting the recognition and the acknowledgement and the validation that I felt like I deserve. I know that sometimes that could be a hindrance, and that can be an overwhelming thing to have in mind. Like, dang, I did this. I'm doing this better than this person. Or I'm doing this now. I'm trying to improve this. But I noticed that I tried to refrain from using the words deserve. Because everybody's going to feel like they deserve something. No matter, and they could be a huge, like they can be a messed up person. No, I'm being honest with you. Like, I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, they can be an honest person. I mean, they could be like a messed up person, and they can do terrible things that you wouldn't ever forgive them for, but they feel like they deserve it. And I'm just trying to like allow you to see my perspective on certain things, on why, because I set everything up. I added everything.
True.
But I try not to have that I deserve it factor. Because at the end of the day, it's like, I am who I am and I do what I love to do. And as long as you love to do what you're doing and you're living in your truth and you just enjoy the journey because you know at the end of the road, the goal and the light is going to be there, that's what all that matters, man. Because I feel like when you start having, like I was reading this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it said that
it's a good book.
It's a great book.
It's a good book.
It's a great book, and I know it sounds cliche because a lot of people read it. Because I remember I seen memes on Twitter saying, "Yeah, they don't know I read Rich Dad Poor Dad in the party, and the guy standing in the back." Did you ever see that meme?
Nah, actually, I haven't.
Yeah, but to get back on subject, he said that too many desires and too many rich people even have the fear of losing all the money because of the greed. He said it's worse to have too much money because it's like you never want to go back. Like when you have too much money, a lot of people that are rich have the strongest fear of losing all that money more than a poor person, quote unquote. So he said too many desires in life can literally make you unhealthy and destroy your life because it's never good enough. You have too many desires. Instead of just having that one desire, that one thing that you really want to do for a higher purpose. He says too many desires, too many material things, too many things can ultimately just make you unhappy and not really appreciative of what's really going on around you. Yeah, it's an interesting take.
No, for real. No.
And you know what's funny? I remember, because I can't sit down. Like I'm a proactive person. Like I like to stay busy. But when I read this book called The Almanac, and it's a great. I was overwhelming myself because I had the fear that I wasn't moving towards my goals. Like I had anxiety about not achieving anything during that day. So I started to do a lot more like cleaning. If I wasn't working, I was doing something for the business. If I wasn't doing something for the business, I was working out. If I wasn't working out, I was reading. If I wasn't reading, I was trying to acquire a new skill. So it was just actively and then I had to learn how to rest because the fear of me not achieving my ultimate goals in life was the reason why I started to become a workaholic, and it was kind of stressing me out.
No, that's valid.
So that's why I said, like, I tried not to have that. My perspective. This is my perspective. Now, it's just a different perspective, but I try not to have that type of mindset, whereas I deserve. Like, the only thing You don't really deserve anything in life. It's like everything is earned. Like, I appreciate everything in life. All because I'm a good person, all because you held the door for me, doesn't mean somebody's going to hold the door for myself. Or I'm going to hold the door for you.
True.
That's why I said, like, if you're going to hold the door for someone, don't expect a thank you. Because if you expect a thank you or you feel like you deserve a thank you, it's going to ruin your whole day when they don't say it.
Damn. Like when you think about it like that, okay. Okay. But for me, it's kind of like just going back on this deserve thing. And again, yeah, there are a lot of people that, you know, feel like they deserve stuff, but I don't feel like I'm entitled to anything. You know, like
What's the difference?
now for me, deserving and entitled to me be like no matter what. You know what I'm saying? You know, you should just get it. No matter, like, in sense of entitlement for me is like no matter what, no, if you did good, bad, ugly, whatever, like you should just be able to get it. You know, and for me, when I'm thinking of deserved, I'm thinking if you showed up and you put the work in and you constantly keep doing that, why shouldn't you be able to get rewarded for it? And I'm not saying that it happens all the time because it doesn't. But you know, just how you touched on, I am a workaholic. There are things that I do outside of music, and it's like me not having the time and still making the time, regardless of who sees it or who sees it and who doesn't. I'm appreciative of the people that do support me, but at the end of the day, for me, when it goes back to like something you deserve, if you work your whole life for something, why shouldn't you? I think, and that's like honestly my opinion on it.
What if you just never get the recognition and the acceptance that you feel like the magnitude that you wanted, and would you continue to still make music?
Yeah, because I love it, but it would hurt for sure. But I would still continue to make music.
What do you make music about? Like, what is the inspiration behind your creativity?
Primarily pain and love. Like that's mainly the two. You know, anything I'm feeling or anything that my friends are feeling, I typically like put in my music.
Can you give us a song whereas you like, what was the inspiration behind one of the songs that you felt like pain and love was one of the experiences that you had?
Okay. I have a song called "Don't Let Go," and overall, this song isn't entirely about me. It's about me. Funny enough, it's about me, my producer, and my cousin.
Mm.
I just shared. We all pretty much like dated someone. Of course, it was different women, of course, and but something I realized is that we all three of us lost that person, only to realize that we really wish we didn't do what we did. You know what I'm saying? And realize how much we really value these people and can get them back. And that's literally like the "Don't Let Go" is pretty much venting about like how wrong, you know, we were. And, you know, we're seeing things better. Let's try to work it out. Like that type of deal. So it's a good song, by the way. I like it.
Okay. But, okay, so basically you had an experience whereas you were dating a young lady and you messed up, and now it's more so like you acknowledge it and you took accountability.
No, for sure. For sure. But taking accountability doesn't always mean that, you know, you can fix anything. You know, so yeah, like it can still get ugly, honestly. Even after taking accountability, it doesn't necessarily, like I said before, it doesn't necessarily mean that anything is honestly fixed. You know, it's just, you know, you being aware of your mistake and trying to move better going forward. Honestly, that's really, to me, that's all really like accountability actually is.
Like just basically like owning up to your mistakes.
That's it.
Do you feel like the universe basically is only lessons in life, no mistakes? Like, what is your perspective on that quote? No mistakes in life, only lessons.
The mistakes bring the lessons. You know, in order to learn, I mean, you do have to achieve some type of knowledge, but some things are just learned through actually trying and making the mistakes to begin with. Because then you learn a way that something doesn't work. Doesn't mean there's not another way to make something work, but ultimately you don't know until you try. And just because you mess up, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a mess up. It just means that that wasn't the way to go about it. To me, anyway. So
Yeah, I don't know, but that's your perspective on it. I do think, like in my opinion, everything is written in life. Like as soon as you're born, like you definitely control sometimes your narrative. However, at the end of the day, I feel it's like you were meant, you have a purpose. Like you were born to do a particular thing.
okay. You know, it's a beautiful thing that you can think like this, but like majority of our people, they do feel like they deserve it. Even I do. Like I have no problem saying it.
Yeah,
You know, but I can like, you know, but I don't like again, and you know, like when we were just talking about the difference in deserving and feeling entitled, you know, I get why you asked me the question. But ultimately, you know, I think with us not helping each other, I think that's more of a selfish or just when I really think about it, it's kind of selfish, honestly, because you don't want somebody to get somewhere before you get there, or you don't want, like, you know, or a lot of things. A lot of times I hear that someone won't help you because they feel like you would go further than they would. Now I don't do that. You know, that's gatekeeping to me. Like anything that I know, I'm willing to teach. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't do that. I want everyone to succeed. You know, but yeah, I feel like we're not helping each other, whatever. I would think that's more like gatekeeping, honestly.
Do you feel like, well, let's just say you're in high school or middle school,
Okay.
and you're doing all the work.
Yeah.
Like you stayed up all night, 3 or 4 or 5 hours learning this thing that you had to learn for a particular assignment. And then your friends come on, yo, bro, Sterling, you do the work. And then you hand them the paper and they jot down all the answers and they get the same hundreds that you've been getting.
No.
Like, would you like that?
No. We're not doing that.
But that's gatekeeping in a way.
No. I can teach you how if I don't teach you how I did it, you did not learn. It's gatekeeping information. Like if you're still ignorant that even though you got that 100, you didn't deserve that 100. You're still ignorant to whatever it was that even got you that 100 in the first place. Now, if I actually teach you how I got that 100, if I teach you, then you can get that 100 too, even if you get the 95, whatever, you know, but now you learned something. So at that point, I'm not gatekeeping because now you know how to do exactly what I was doing.
Would you feel some type of way if they got like if you gave them the homework? Would you feel some type of way if they like, yo, like you not being a good friend, like whoop-de-wop, trying to basically quote unquote manipulate you because you did the hard work and they felt like they deserve it or they were entitled because you guys are close and they would have done it. Like, what if they would do it for you? Does it still like the energy still go?
I think for me personally, don't just give me the answers. I want to know how you got them, because at the end of the day, going forward, if I get another test that's similar and you're not there, what happens then?
What if they don't care? What if they just like, bro, I don't care.
I care. And if you're a friend, you're going to make sure, you know, that I'm not ignorant in something like that. Like me personally, I wouldn't do that. Like if my friends don't know something and I know it, I'm going to tell you.
Do you care because they didn't put as much effort into the assignment as you?
Nah, it's the principle of it. Like, again, I literally just said it. Like, if you don't know it, and I give you the answers, what did you learn? Nothing. You learn how to just copy off of someone that knew how to do something that you didn't. But if I actually teach you it, you know what I'm saying? You actually apply yourself. Now you actually know said skill that you could teach it to your next brother, and that brother hopefully would teach it to the next. That's how I'm thinking about it, me personally. So it's not that, you know, I would feel a way or that it's not unfair to me. Because at the end of the day, when the next test comes up, I'm going to get that other 100. It's unfair to you because you're getting this easy 100.
Consistently. Because of you.
You know, and I'm like, that's not okay. Do it, like, let me teach you and you be consistent for yourself. Don't let me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're cheating yourself at the end of the day. You're not cheating me because I'm still going to achieve whatever it is that I wanted to achieve. I'm putting in the work, but you're not. You're just breezing by. At some point, that's going to cap out. At some point.
You know what's funny to me? Like, I don't like help from anyone.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't. I hate help.
Why?
Because I felt like I'm powerless.
Why?
Because I feel as though like I don't
That
like
sounds
help.
prideful.
It is. I take
that sounds
pride
very
in
prideful,
everything I do. Now, don't get me wrong. I will ask for help if I truly need it, but I'll exhaust all my options first. Like for an example,
don't
if
see
I
nothing wrong
need
with that.
if I need help carrying the TV inside,
Yeah.
I will ask for somebody because I need someone to help
Yeah, that
me.
makes sense. Yeah.
But if I can do it myself and I know I'm going to struggle, I would do it myself because I'm helping myself first.
Same.
So it's like I don't want anyone to go out their way for me. But I tend to go out my way for a lot of people, and I love to I feel like people that love to help hate help.
Interesting.
Well, I'm not gonna say that because I feel like
I'm about to say
that.
because I'm about to say I love help, like,
I
but
don't
I do try before I ask for help, because if I'm just asking for help immediately, I didn't even apply.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like people be like, I need help. Like, did you even help yourself?
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
exhaust all your options.
I agree.
Like a lot of people don't even want to help themselves to the fullest.
I agree.
They just want to go ahead. Oh, I need help. Like after the first or two tries.
Yeah.
Like no, like help yourself. Now, if you need help learning something, then I would like reach out for that. You know what I'm saying? But I would try to learn as much as possible
As you
by
should.
myself. And
As you
then
should.
when somebody's trying to help me, I actually make sense. Or like I can have a foundation, but I feel as though like a lot of people just don't want to help themselves.
Nah, they like, again, they rather just take the easy way out.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, like I was saying before, like it's something you should definitely do. Show up for you. You have to. You know what I'm saying? And as long as you're applying yourself, then if the help comes in after that, that should be cool. But if you didn't even try, fuck are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't even try. Like try. So I'm with you on that one. Like, because I will definitely try everything in my power to achieve something without the help. But if I need the help, I will take it. Now, I asked if you was prideful because I actually had, like, I struggled with that too. Like, you know, but before, and it was actually like a good friend of mine that says you have to allow people to help you if they want to, especially if you need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't, they was like, you know, don't put yourself in a situation that you didn't really need to be in just because you wanted to be stubborn enough, like, or stubborn in general, and not take the help because, you know, you didn't want to like feel like people look down on you, or you wanted to feel like, and I would use your word, like powerless, or the word the what I typically use, like, makes me feel like less of a man if I can't achieve something myself. So they told me not to look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? We're all people. You know, we're all weak somewhere. You know, you're not going to be able to do everything. There's someone out here, you know, you're going to have friends that can just do something better than you. And that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But just going back to being able to, like, us as a people connecting, I mean, that would be a good way to connect. Like, you know, you could be stronger in some, like, you know, some type of different avenue that they're weak in.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Is that not how we mix energies? Like, is that not how we learn something new? So for me, I actually ended up letting that go fairly recently, actually, like maybe within like the last 2 years. So I find that pretty cool. Wow.
Yeah, like to me
2 years.
personally, like, now let me rephrase, like I don't want to use the term like powerless. I prefer, it's just like I don't feel like I'm using all of me. Like I'm not, like I'm a person that determines my own fate as much as possible. And I don't like when people go out their way for me because it's like I don't want them to ever throw it in my face like, I did this for you, I did this for you. Like I don't want that.
But
ever.
Do you know people like that?
Yes.
And you're cool with them?
Not as much anymore, but sometimes it's family.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, bro. Like
that.
sometimes, yeah, like, oh, I did this, I did that. I didn't ask you to do that though.
Nah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm helping you because I genuinely want to, but because you did this or you did that, right? I'm not trying to sound selfish, but when you say no, when you say yes, 80% of the time, that one no, they'll bring that up.
They'll look at that one
Yeah,
no,
that one no.
as opposed to all the other times that you showed
Exactly.
up. Oh my gosh.
So that's why I said, like,
man.
I don't ask for help. Like, I exhaust all my options. Unless I genuinely, like, for an example, I moved into my apartment building by myself.
Because I actually asked you if you wanted help.
And what I say?
You was like, nah, I think I'm going to be all right for real.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, by myself. You know what I'm saying? And I had one of my friends, I asked him, "Yo, bro," because I would go out my way as much as he would for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I just asked this person, "Yo, bro, like when you get Tom, can you please, just help me with this TV?"
Yeah.
That was it. That was it. That's all because I can't do that by myself.
I would have put it on one of those carts. I ain't gonna cap.
But you still gotta get out the car.
You can't bring the cart outside?
You can, but I'm not trying to lift that heavy TV up and like slip my hands because my wingspan ain't that long.
Yeah, true.
Like that's a heavy TV, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said like I will ask for help when I need help.
Sure.
Not in the sense of when I want help. When I need it. I feel like people always ask for assistance when they're not even trying to help themselves to the fullest.
For sure.
And it's like I don't want to ever feel like a burden on someone. That's another thing. Like I hate feeling like a burden, bro. Because in my opinion, it's just like I don't want no one to ever feel as though they can have some type of leverage over me.
I owe you, like, oh my god,
that owe you, like, oh, bro, it kills me. That's what I'm saying. Woo. So that's why I always said to myself, like, I would exhaust all my options before I even ask someone for help. Especially like, bro, I'd rather not eat if I was in a financial situation. But no, you know what? I'm not gonna say that because I do got people in my circle that will go out their way for me.
Okay,
I'm not saying that, and I'm not gonna say that because they do love me and they support me, but if they do that, I make sure I give them back 10 times fold.
Fair enough.
You give me a 1 chip, I'm buying you 5 bags of the same potato chips or the same type of product that I asked for, just so I can feel as though you looked out for me. I'm gonna look out for you as much as possible to let you know I appreciate you. And I'm not saying that material things are everything, but I'm just saying like it's just a token of my appreciation. Like you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to sacrifice that. You didn't have to give me anything. But that doesn't mean that I want everything from you. Like I feel like when people start asking for too much help, they start taking advantage of people. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, what's your perspective on that? Like when people just know they can take advantage of somebody and they do it. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Like the
and they may even love you, huh?
You talking about the person that's taking advantage of
Yeah, like what's your perspective? Like if a person loves you, like let's just say like if you're in a situation where your significant other loves you, but he or she takes advantage of you. Like, what is your perspective? Like, does that person really love you? Like, she takes advantage of your niceness. Like, I see it all the time that men and women take advantage of their significant other. Oh, I let this person run all over me. If you allow me to run all over you, I'm gonna do it. You heard that before?
Yeah.
Like what?
Actually, yeah.
And then sometimes they be really loving this person, quote unquote.
So again, you want to know like my perspective on a person actually using someone like they're with, or just in like general?
Yeah, just in general, like whatever insight that you can give from your perspective and your opinion.
Truthfully, I think it's fucked up. Like, I mean, like why would you want to? Like, if you need help, okay, but don't just, constantly keep taking and taking and taking. That's not cool. We're not doing that. Like, me personally, like, I think people that are like constantly taking advantage of people like are scum. Like, and I'm not even trying to be like disrespectful about it, but it's like, wow, because you're doing it. Like you're testing the waters. You're trying to see how far you can get with it. You know what you're doing. And maybe at one point it was genuine. You really needed the help, or maybe some things was even an accident. And then like taking her kindness for weakness. Like, yeah, nah, I'm not cool with that. Like, don't like intentionally use somebody when they genuinely care about you and like, whatever becomes of you. Like, if someone is really investing in you like that, like, and not even like romantic relationships, just people in general, like, why would you even want to play with them like that? They're showing up for you. Why play with that person? Why play with anybody like that, honestly? Nah, I'm not cool with that. Fuck them.
Yeah, it's just like,
yeah.
You get what I'm saying, though? Because a lot of people do it.
I know.
A lot of people do it. Like, in my opinion, especially, like, a lot of people do it. A lot of people get in relationships because of the benefits.
Really?
Yes.
What kind of benefits you talking about?
Financially.
Okay.
Like just making sure like that person feels secure with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes it could be a particular how this person makes them feel.
Okay.
Temporarily.
Okay.
Yeah, like a lot of people
when you think
do.
about it like that,
Yeah, bro,
when you
that's
think about it like
normal.
that.
Especially like when you in a tough situation financially, and you need a significant other to rely on. Yeah, like a lot of women won't date a man because of his pockets is messed up. Like he can have a vision, he can have a plan, but because he's not more so financially established yet, they're not willing to be open minded and give him a chance. And a lot of men don't want a significant other, whereas they're willing to be more patient about. It can be like, for an example, like it can be a woman that started to like grow into herself.
Yeah.
It could be a woman that just needs a little bit more time to figure herself out. It could be a woman that just needs an extra push. It could be so many things,
You
but
think men wouldn't want to do that?
a lot of men don't, because a lot of men don't want to be patient when it comes to a lot of men a lot of men in the world start dating these quote unquote Instagram models and these trophies.
And you think it's because of like their lack of patience?
I do think because they want to be viewed as a higher level instead of dating someone that truly loves them or someone that wants to grow with them. They start to obtain these quote unquote trophies because it makes them feel a way. Instead of being patient enough with a woman.
I don't know if it really has something to do with patience. Like respectfully, I think these like, let's just use like the Instagram models or like the model type of woman, or just currently what we're seeing on any type of like social media platform, right? Like it's eye candy. Let's be real. We like to look at something that looks good. Like honestly, at the end of the day. So I feel like, you know, men are trying to get with these women because, I mean, not only does it make them like feel good as a man, but you know, because they like, you know, bag the badge on or whatever the case may be. I really think it's like primarily like physical. Now, as far as like women go, I think men, both sides are actually getting a little shallow if you ask me. But ultimately, women are dating men for their money. You know what I'm saying? I feel like personally, like
Not
women,
all.
okay, fair, but not all men are doing what you said.
Exactly.
So,
I agree.
So for me, I encounter a lot of women that typically want to know what a man's making, you know, and if they're not at a certain like bracket, then they fall short. Like, you know, you care nothing about that man's character. You care nothing about that man's like intelligence. You care nothing about how that man really would treat you. You want to know if he got a bag. You know what I'm saying? Could he take care of the bill so that you can still, you know, go out and do whatever it is that you want? And I'm like, nah. So I think what's really going on is like if men are going to get these, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know. Like gold diggers is coming to mind, but I just feel like that's
Trophies.
so tasteful. Trophies or just
Like just something that they can show to make them feel good.
right. So if women are using men for their money, men are using women for their bodies. Like if I gotta have this type of money in order to play, then I want to play with something I want to play with. And I think it really comes down to those simple ass terms. Like, you know, until we both sides are real with themselves, you know what I'm saying? Until both sides again take some type of accountability, to both sides realize that, you know, looks or whatever just isn't everything, and we need to start looking at other things. We will continue to go down like this trash ass spiral, in my opinion. But yeah, to just double back, I really think it's that simple. Since men gotta have a lot of money, men are gonna wanna like, that's not even investing, but men are going to want to play with who they want to play with.
When I said that, it's just more so I feel like a lot of men, and a lot of men don't, but a lot of men want superficial things.
Okay.
Because they want their worth to be determined by material things.
But
and
that's how the world made it out to be for us.
Society. A lot of men do and a lot of men don't. Like for an example, a lot of people just want validation. They want to be accepted, and they want to be viewed a certain way. I do think like a lot of people want that, but it's in different spectrums. But I'm just saying in general, I do think that when it comes to, for an example, when you're dating someone and it requires a lot more patience on both sides.
True. Because
you're not perfect and this person isn't perfect. But as soon as, you know, things get a little bit more challenging, especially when you're at a certain type of status as a man, when you have money and when you have the image and when you have all these things, you tend to have less patience for certain things.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying now?
I do.
Like the same woman that was rocking out with you when you had nothing, when you get everything, now it's like, I can't do this. I don't have to do this. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, but women do exactly the same thing.
A lot of people do it.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't. But the entire, what my perspective is, I know people do it in general.
Oh yeah,
that doesn't make it right. But I'm just saying, like, because a lot of women will say a man is only defined by how much he can provide. If a man can't really provide or protect his family, then he's not a man. But what if he's going to work, busting his ass, working two jobs, but he can't.
Still don't make enough.
But still don't make enough to provide a lifestyle that you want. He can make enough ends meet to put food on the table, have a roof over your head, put clothes on the kids' back, and make sure that he can, quote unquote, take you out sometimes, not as much as you want. But another man can do everything you want. A lot of women aren't patient, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel as though that when they say a man is defined, a relationship, when a man has nothing, that's when the woman's behavior is defined. And when a man has everything, his behavior is defined towards a woman. Because things change. So that's what I'm saying to you. It's just very, very eye-opening on how a lot of people can be superficial in the world. And I know, like, you're big on patience. It's just like the same patience that you had when you had nothing, you may not have the same patience when you have everything.
I think I have more now than when I had nothing, to be completely honest. But maybe that's just me.
That's just you. And now a lot of people, I mean, everybody's different in the world, but I'm just saying a lot of people don't have that logic.
Okay. A
lot of people, they start getting all these material things and everything they want to achieve and all their desires, and they start to switch up real quick. Men and women do that.
I think it's crazy because I came from nothing. So now that I, like, you know, have a little something, I'm so willing to share. It's wild. Like, if I would have hit up like any of my peoples like on this phone right now, they would say it. Like, you know, like, I'm willing to give my last. You know, so for me, it's just, and I guess it's just because of like where I come from as a whole, you know, so I know what it feels like to have absolutely nothing. And I don't want none of my people to feel like that. So I guess, like, for me, the role switched. As I got more, you know, I was more willing to share. When I had absolutely nothing, you know, even if like, hell, even if I had nothing back when I was a kid, if someone else needed it more than me, if they had less than me, less than nothing, I would give whatever crumbs that I had, you know. But wow, now that I think about it, yeah, I'm more giving now than back then.
Is it because you're inspired by what you didn't have, so that helps you give out stuff like that because you don't want to, like you said, see your loved ones going, or it's just because like what is the inspiration behind and the motivation behind like why you give more than what you ever have?
It's more biblical. Honestly, for me, it's like, it's something in my like nature, something in my core that just tells me this is the right thing to do. Like, you know, like, you should do this. You know, like, don't expect anything in return. Like, you should just do this because you have the ability to do it. You know, like, and they're in need. Like, it's honestly that simple for me. You know, be it family or friends. Honestly, I've even, you know, even with like homeless people, you know, there's been times like that, you know, not only would I like give them food, but I would also like give money. Even if if I was on a budget, you know what I'm saying? They needed more than me. So
Yeah.
just a simple, just to like, you know, break down something down like simply.
They and Rich Dad and Poor Dad says if you want to be successful, if you want to obtain riches, you give more than what you receive.
Yes.
So that's why a lot of rich folks and a lot of people, when they start getting things, from my perspective, they start to give out more because they want to obtain and receive more. Which, like, and I'm not even gonna lie, I sometimes, like, I used to catch myself doing that a lot.
Okay.
Like giving out more because I'm like, it's gonna come back to me even more. Like I'm gonna give
okay,
this.
so you was thinking just
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I never thought like that.
Yeah. No, it is genuine. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely genuine. Like I said, like all because I hold the door for you. I'm not expecting a thank you because I'm not feeling like I deserve it. But that was like the logic, the behind logic in my mind. Like, well, listen, if I give this person this much money or if I give this person this extra effort, it's gonna come back to me eventually. I don't know when.
In some shape, way, or form, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so that's
sure.
why that was like. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It doesn't make it more or less genuine. It just kind of motivated me to give out more. Because if I'm just giving, and I'm not getting anything back ever.
I mean, I'm about to. Wait a minute. There's a limit.
Exactly. No, I'm just
There's
saying.
a limit.
I'm just saying, bro, because a lot of people just genuinely just give, and that's why I said sometimes they can get people taken advantage of because they give
Agreed.
more.
I agree.
Than what they have to, and that's why a lot of people run all over them at times. So that's why I said to you, like, it's to the limit. You know what I mean? Like I gave because I knew eventually it may come back to me. I'm not expecting it, but in the way I am. But I don't know when it's going to happen. It can happen in 20 years from now, 30 years from now. But as long as I'm doing me and staying positive, that's all that matters. Like I made a positive impact on someone.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So that's why I always said, like, you gotta just do you. You gotta stay true to yourself.
You do.
You know what I'm saying?
You do. Never act outside of character. For real.
Yeah. So this is probably my last question. I know you're a musician, and I want to touch on that. Like, what are some of the things that you feel like some musicians go through, or tough times, or what are some things that people should look out for in the future? Like anything you want to talk about music related, how music helped you become a better person, or kind of made you a lot more anxious?
Oh wow, just touching on like something that artists go through. A lot of artists are actually going through some type of like financial struggle, to be honest. Because like I touched on before, like a lot, especially indie artists. I can't speak about artists like that have labels or anything. I don't really know what goes on that side. But as far as like indie artists like me, they're coming out of pocket for everything. You know, so anything that you see, like it can be like the videos, like where the music is produced, if they don't like produce and engineer their own stuff, you know what I'm saying, like studio time itself, the equipment, you know, like, you know, none of this is free. Ultimately, just so many things go into, like, and this is just to name a few, but so many things go into play. Like hell, even if like they want to like perform at a venue, a lot of times we got to pay for that. Like we really gotta pay to show up. So I would say it's a lot of financial struggle that, like, you know, we go through, you know, in order to put out something that we love. You know, we're most likely in the hole. Like we don't really get anything unless you can get like millions of streams. Yeah, it's really like a losing battle. So if you're putting out music, it's because you like really like to do it, in my opinion. Like love. Nah, yeah, you love to do it.
Okay. Now, besides like the hindrance of, you know, like financially, like basically investing into your craft.
Yeah.
Like what are some of the things that you feel like it made you a better person or kind of made you a little bit more anxious on that side?
For me, my music allowed me to like get in touch with my more emotional side. Like, so there was things that like, I typically as a man wouldn't have just struggle sharing. But it's something about being able to write music and like just letting go of that and being able to make, I don't know, like even if it's like not relatable, but just being able to express myself through my music and getting something off of my chest and, you know, making art out of it. Like, you know, I I would think is something that's really dope. So, yeah, that's what like I think it helps me. You know, it's like a form of therapy. It doesn't replace therapy at all in any shape, way, or form. But for me, it's definitely a way to release emotions that I've been struggling to put into words to share to other people, in my opinion.
Do you feel like putting yourself out there made you a lot more confident or a lot more like cautious as a human?
Like with my music,
Yeah.
neither.
Like I can't say this or like I should say this. Like
Neither. For me, I make music, you know, and I should be able to express in my music any way that I feel. If you don't like it, that's completely fine. If you like it, that's what's up. You know, like ultimately, that's kind of like where I'm at with that. You know, if that's going to be your concern, I wouldn't make music. Truthfully.
okay. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that it provides like a certain type of creativity, a certain type of meditation more so.
For sure.
Like writing those words and really putting your real experiences to try to encourage or maybe help someone in a positive way. I feel as though that's what a lot of people should be doing instead of trying to make music that's going to be around for 1 or 3 months and then it goes away. But I just think that when you have that type of initiative to try to make impact and feel like you are more so focused on that, because when you focus on inspiration, in my opinion, more than the financial stuff, it's going to come. The more people you inspire, the more people you can quote unquote influence.
No, for sure.
You know what I mean? And with that influence, they'll remember you. Oh, I listened to this song by Sterling when I was in this time in my life. Because that impact gives them the nostalgia and they will always remember that. So that's why I said like impact is over everything. It's gonna come. You know what I'm saying? So, listen, this is the Toast Up segment. Man, toast to you, Sterling, for being a person that's going to continue to be persistent to get where he want to be. Continue to be as creative and patient as you are, because things definitely going to come in your way. You just the alchemist going through the world, bro. Trying to reach the treasure, and a lot of people going to come into your life and go out, and a lot of obstacles that you may not even want to deal with. But overall, 5 years from now, it's going to make you a better person. And there's always going to be a lesson in that. So toast to you, man. I don't want you to tear up, bro. Like, so toast to you, man. And toast to your achievements, brother.
I appreciate
Take care.
that,
Yes,
bro.
sir. Yes, sir. We drink today.